Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, well, thank you, everyone, for coming, and I believe we have two people on Zoom, Barry Lamos, Councilman Lamos, and Mark Crawford. Okay, first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve in a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the council workshop report from Monday, June 10th, 2024. That's the green sheets. That is online. I won't read that. If you do want to read that, you can go to the website or ask for a copy from City Hall. Next item on the agenda is public comment. There's none registered in advance. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Would you like to approach the podium, please, and state your name?
Hi, my name's Sally Bridges Stambro. I own the building at 2 First Street Northwest here that used to be Abbott Realty, and yeah, my mom owned it, Linda Abbott. I want to say thank you for all the work you guys did on Rick's building and that Doug took care of there to stop. All of the water is done now. She has one tiny little leak, and after they put all the metal up and everything, it made a world of difference. So thank you for that. The problem I have is that when the workers were coming in and out of the building, we have the shared door that goes up the steps to the apartment, and they let it slam so much that my electronic lock on there that has the keypad on it where you push the code in is now busted, so it won't work anymore. I wasn't happy about that. And the back door on the building, which is supposed to remain closed at all times because it's a fire exit, whoever put it on hung it wrong, and the wind keeps catching it and smashing it against the building. And water is coming in. There's some spots there where water's coming in to the building. So I would like that addressed, that the door isn't shutting right. It was before that got worked on, and now it isn't. So I need to have that fixed because I believe it's fire code, isn't it, that it has to be shut?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the other day, two of my renters called me and said they were out on the sidewalk and someone had scaled a back of one of the buildings there and went over you guys' roof there and up onto mine, and then come in that fire door and went downstairs and come out the front of the building, and no one's supposed to be up there. That's why I put the lock on there, because we were having so many troubles with squatters going up there and trying to break into it when it was Rick's and stuff. So that's why I put the lock on the door, because I was tired of everyone going up there and sleeping in the hall and stuff. So is there anything else I need to talk about, Jax?
Well, two of the guys that live up there, they did take and trim the wood.
Yeah, they did trim the wood, so the door will shut now, because rain and wind was coming in there and stuff, so they did.
3 days.
Yeah, banged and open and shut for 3 days. I finally told them, just do what you need to do to get it shut so it will stay shut. I don't know exactly what they did to it, but it is shutting now. But I didn't know if we needed to have something special on it. I guess that's Doug's thing, because he knows more about that stuff than I do. So, but and then we did put up, when they worked on the building, they took my downspout down, and they told Doug that it wasn't up there. It was up there, and my friend Jax put it back up there for me so that he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
All the leaks stopped against the back of
Yeah.
the building, except for it's coming, all that tin that they put in, the water, when it hits it and the wind blows it up, goes down, they didn't seal they need to pull that first panel up and seal the building. Just tar, mud, anything to stop the water, because it's one little leak.
Yeah, that's coming in there.
In the side, through it's right in the area of the thing, of the exit, but it's coming in through there and just leaking just a little bit. It's barely leaking, but she said she had 2 drops in the bathroom and just less than a bucket full.
Yeah,
Little leak.
I'm just thankful that,
Oh,
that
yeah, it's
you
not
guys
falling
got the
down the
building
walls.
and it's now, the waterfall that was coming in my building is now stopped, except for a couple drips. I am very thankful for that, and I wanted to thank Doug for taking care of that kind of stuff and you guys for getting the building and everything, because it was starting to damage the walls on Rick's side upstairs and everything, and I thought, oh Lord, if something doesn't get done, I don't know. I was waiting for him to cave in and on my part of it. But I am thankful for all the hard work that this city has put in to take care of it. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Sally. Okay, is there any other public comment? Okay. Well, thanks again, Sally. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda is old business, of which there is, public hearings, of which there is none, and then old business, and there's none, and so that moves us to new business. And the first item there is consideration of awarding the June 2024 Image of Pride to John and Joy Lyman for the property located at 307 Oak Hill Drive. And I will refer comment to Councilperson Griefy.
Well, I wanted to nominate John and Joy Lyman because not only are they good stewards of their property, their beautiful home, they're also very good stewards of our community. John graduated from Hampton in 1966. He ran a successful business in downtown. What?
65.
When did you graduate? You're a whole lot older than I thought.
Oh, that's nice.
He ran a successful business, Hampton Distributing, in our downtown district, and he now serves as vice president of the library board, secretary on the hospital board of trustees, and is involved in Hampton's community housing. And I deeply appreciate recently on Earth Day, he gave up a Sunday afternoon and came and helped us clean up the downtown district. Joy is also active. She volunteers for the hospital auxiliary, spends countless hours in her gardens and landscaping, and invests valuable time in her grandchildren. So not only do I want to nominate you for the Image of Pride Award, I want to thank you for your community spirit and your leadership as well.
All right, great. Is there a motion and a second to award?
So moved.
Okay, and second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Jerry, seconded by Pat, to award the June 2024 Image of Pride to John and Joy Lyman for the property located at 307 Oak Hill Drive. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Congratulations. Would you like to come forward for a wonderful photo?
Do it over there.
Should we do it by the flag, Jerry?
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I mean, you have to be in.
Do I need to remind him?
Is there a?
55?
No.
65.
Oh, 65.
All right, switch in.
Okay, so.
65.
Oh my God.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Quit jabbering. Good. Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for nominating, okay?
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We enjoy working on it, too.
Thanks again, John and Joy.
Thank you.
Next item under new business is an appeal hearing involving a dog owned by George Ivani Lara and declared vicious by police chief on May 24th of 2024. And I'll just ask Chief Morrison to come forward and comment.
Yeah, I'll just say our code requires that a hearing be held for Mr. Lara, who has decided not to attend or appeal the decision. He agrees that the dog needs to be removed from town, and he was going to do so. I have not heard from him yet today, but he was going to give you the name and the address of where it was going, so we can also contact them. Unless there's any questions, that's what that is. I think you have the it in your packet. Otherwise, I can read a portion of that to you if you need.
Go ahead, Bill.
I've read all this. As far as I'm concerned, I'd like to declare the dog vicious, not fool around anymore with it.
Okay, point of order, a question for, do we need a motion then to declare it vicious if it's already been and then they're not appealing it? Is there any action we need to take?
I think
as
you
long
do,
as-
I think you do
Okay.
need to declare it non or vicious, just because
Okay.
the code says that we shall have a
Okay,
hearing.
very good. Like I
Yeah.
said, I just wanted to
Yeah.
check. So Bill moved to declare the dog vicious. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Is there any further discussion or questions?
Yeah.
Go
What
ahead.
happens in 6 months if the dog drifts back into town? Oh, that's that dog's brother.
Yep.
I would like to, down the road, have a mandatory chip of some sort or some more identification than just trust them that they're gonna take it out of
Yeah,
town.
the city manager and myself have been working through a few issues with this code. We're gonna have some minor changes, I think, just to kind of streamline it a little bit. And we can look into chipping also and see what kind of ordinances there are out there. We do have one now. Mr. Blanford donated a chip reader to us, so we are grateful for
Nice.
that, so.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or discussion? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and put that to a vote, the vote being to declare the dog vicious. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thanks, Chief. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the claims as recommended by staff for $808,851.02. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Jerry. Pat. Okay, the motion by Jerry, second by Pat to approve the claims as submitted by staff in the amount of $808,851.02. Any discussion?
Yeah, I think Barry's still muted. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barry, we need you to unmute for voting.
Yeah, so we can hear his vote.
Because he keeps raising his hand and I can't see it.
Okay, any other questions or discussion on the claims?
I would just point out
Yes, go ahead.
that the reason they're so large is because of 2 debt payments in June. One for the Highway 65 TIF debt and the other for the wastewater treatment plant payment. Thank you.
Anything else? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and put that to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll now move on to consideration of approval and adoption of resolutions and ordinances. The first is Resolution 2024-18, a resolution approving open records request policy. And I will refer comment to City Manager Ron Dunt.
Thank you. 2024-18 is a resolution approving open records request policy, whereas the City of Hampton, Iowa desires to provide transparency to constituency in compliance with Iowa Code Chapter 22 Open Records, and approving open records request policy will establish written policy for all open records requests, and the policy attached to this resolution as Attachment 1 is hereby approved. And this would be effective upon passage. And we went over the details of this at the workshop. I would just entertain any questions you might have.
Any questions or comments from council? Okay, seeing none, I would look for a motion and a second,
So moved.
Second.
and that's, I'm assuming approval. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 24-18, and that is a roll call vote. Pat?
Aye?
Kevin?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Barry?
He's on mute.
Is he still on? Barry? Do you want to unmute? Otherwise, I'll vote yes. So there's,
Passes.
what's that?
It passes.
Yeah, there's enough votes there without hearing Barry's vote that Resolution 2024-18 does pass. Next is Resolution 2024-19, a resolution approving the contract and bonds for the 2024-2025 Street Rehabilitation Program. And I would refer comment to Mark Crawford of Crawford Engineering, who is on Zoom. Mark, are you there?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Not the
barely.
best, barely.
Is that any better?
Not much.
No.
If you could just speak up as loud as you can.
Okay, how's that?
It'll have to work.
Okay, these are the construction contracts for, or from Heartland Asphalt for the 2024-2025 street rehabilitation project. This project is for the base bid plus all 3 bid alternates that we had advertised for. The total construction contract is for $279,582.54. Upon successful approval of this construction contract, I will begin discussion with Heartland Asphalt to get a pre-construction meeting set up and a construction schedule to present to the city. Otherwise, I'll answer any questions if there may be.
Does council have any questions? It doesn't look like there are any questions, Mark. Seeing none, or no questions, or no further discussion, I'd look for a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2024-19.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2024-19. If there's no further discussion, we'll put that, and that requires a roll call vote. Barry? Don't know if he is
unmuted.
unmuted.
Mhm.
So Barry, we're voting on Resolution 2024-19. How do you vote? Is he raising his hand or anything? But okay. Pat?
Aye.
I vote yes. Kevin?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And Jerry?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 2024-19 does pass. We have one more resolution to consider, Resolution 2024-30, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hampton, Iowa, setting the base wages for appointed officers and employees of the City of Hampton for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. And I refer comment to City Manager Dunt.
Yeah, this resolution, it's the list of full-time positions named shall be paid the base wage indicated for fiscal year '25, and the clerk is authorized to issue warrants, checks, less legally required and authorized deductions from the amount set forth below, and make such contributions to IPERS, Social Security, and other purposes as required by law or authorization of the City Council, all subject to audit and review by the council. And then the positions are listed, the hourly base wages, and this also includes fire department wages. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Because these are items we've already discussed and basically approved, and now it's time to actually put it in a formal resolution, if
Yeah.
that's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. So seeing no discussion, no further discussion or questions, I would look for a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2024-20.
So moved.
Second.
We'll go with Pat and Bill. So it's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2024-20. This requires a roll call vote. Bill?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
I vote yes. Kevin?
Aye.
Pat?
Aye.
And Barry? Okay. The resolution does pass. Moving on the agenda, next item is the consent agenda, which includes the approved previous minutes as drafted from the Thursday, May 23rd, 2024 regular session. Schedule the next regular session for Thursday, June 27th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at Hampton City Council Chambers. Approve the alcohol licensing renewal for the following: La Chocita, Franklin County Fair outdoor service during the fair, the Franklin County Convention Center, and Quick Star number 567. Consent agenda also includes approval of tobacco licensing for the following: Casey's General Store number 1605, Hampton Dollar Fresh, Dollar General number 2383, Get and Go Convenience Store number 9, Quick Star number 567, Fairway Stores number 902, Northside One Stop, and A to Z Liquors Incorporated. Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Jerry
Second.
and Kevin. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
and I say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. That leads us to the staff reports. We'll start with Police Chief Mark Morrison, please.
Yeah, as far as nuisance, I don't have much to add to Monday's night, other than we continue to work on that daily. I also wanted to highlight that we continue to work on homelessness, mental health, and substance abuse as a priority. We recently ran into an issue with the homeless shelter in Mason City refusing out-of-county residents, but we worked with Robin McKee and Community Resources, and now we've opened that door back up again. So we thank her for her effort in trying to get that going again. And then the speed trailer is up on 7th Avenue. We've been moving that kind of around at the community's request, so if we have time, we move it, but we've had enough requests that we kind of just keep it moving around. That's all I have for tonight, unless there's questions.
Any questions from council? Great, thanks, Mark. Next up, Public Works Director Doug Tarr.
Thank you, Mayor, Pro Tem Council. I just wanted to address some things that were discussed earlier, and I will get with Sally to discuss some of these items further. Yes, we had a discussion. Staff did put new weather stripping on that rear shared entry door on the back. Once she brought it to my attention, I approached staff. I said, hey, guys, they're struggling with the door a little bit. And he goes, yeah, there is. We put the new weather stripping. It's tight. It just needs to be, he goes, pulled to, basically. It doesn't just shut on its own anymore or anything, because it has weather stripping on it now and it's tight. When we did the initial testing with a fire truck and blew some water up there and different things, that was a very weak spot in where the water had been leaking in at, was that back door. So the guys did do weather stripping. They did some tuck pointing all around there and around into the corner. Now, having said that, I hope I'm wrong, but I have a very strong suspicion that we haven't had a strong downpour of rain since the repairs have been finalized. So I do think that it's very possible it could be leaking still, but I do not think it is on our side. I do believe it's probably coming from the other structure. potentially. My recommendation to Sally was to have a general contractor like King Construction, Henkel, or even Clear Lake, Dean Snyder, having someone from one of those construction companies come and take a look. They deal with commercial buildings frequently, and give her some advice. Like I said, I hope that the leaks have diminished considerably, but like I said, we have not had a downpour since the repairs have been made. The electronic button on the front entry of that building, this is the first I heard about that tonight. I will discuss that with her. We would obviously make repairs if it need to replace it, what have you. The back door, as far as being shut or whatever, it is no longer a true fire escape. When I did the inspections of those upstairs apartments, yes, it is a means of egress, so we do want panic hardware to get out. That's great. But yeah, we don't want it open to the elements either. So it just kind of needs to be pulled too, from my understanding, until it gets broke in. However, I think they advised some different things, and I will talk to them just to try to get an end into a means here. But anyway, yeah, very satisfied with what staff did do up there. I do think anything that had been potentially leaking from our side most definitely has been solved. To maybe counteract a little bit of a point that we need to do something at the bottom of where the tin is at. Honestly, that is 12 foot plus into where the water would have to go up a pretty steep incline and get blown in for many feet in order to make its way into any portion that's going to leak over to their side, because where we're talking about, the two buildings are separated by a couple 2-3 foot, so there's no way that water is leaking under what we've done and getting back over there. Other than that, we got a ton of things going on. It is construction season. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to look at the slideshow before the meeting a little bit, but a lot of good positives going on in our community, and that's kind of the note I wanted to end on tonight, is something good. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, I would be more than happy to try to answer those.
Any questions or concerns? Guess not. Thanks a lot, Doug.
Thank you.
Next up, City Manager Ron Dunn.
Thank you. Working with Bob Veenstra, continue to, on the Iowa DNR Beads Lake Park Sewer Main Project planning. We're also waiting for a draft 28E agreement from the DNR to review regarding their connection to the city sewer main. Eventually, a 28E agreement would come before the city council when that gets drafted and reviewed. Attended an FCDA board meeting. The board continues to perform due diligence on Hampton Industrial Park land expansion, as well as work with the Latimer Development Corp. On prospective projects near I-35. I look for the new fire truck to be delivered in the next couple weeks, and we will have the firemen bring it over to a council workshop so you can all have a look when we do have that. Continued discussions with prospective housing developers to jumpstart some residential construction. The economy causes challenges and obstacles, but we continue to seek out potential projects. In visiting with Soyland Homes, they indicate Hampton is next on their list to focus on when they wrap up their existing projects. I'm also communicating with Origin Homes on potential sites. And the water treatment plant project is underway. Andy indicated that there is a subcontracted electrician that's been on site recently doing some work, so. Are there any questions?
To get away from a little bit, the fire department, are they indeed billing for for fires?
Well, they are looking into it, and so from this point on, so they had called City Hall after a recent fire, and were looking at possibly billing for a charge, but when we reviewed the ordinance with them, it was not an eligible charge to bill for that particular fire. The ordinance, has limitations on what can be billed for and what can't be.
I guess I
So
didn't
they are,
remember that.
but they are cognizant of it and are looking to utilize it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments for Ron? Thank you, Ron. Okay, we'll move on to council reports. We'll start with Kevin.
I had a chance to do the wastewater treatment. Doug and the staff out there took me around. I was actually out of town when they did the second portion of it, but learned a lot out there. Got to see the facility. It looks like it's being taken care of very well, so that's nice. So appreciate you, Doug, for taking the time to give us a tour. So
Anything else?
that's it.
Great, thank you. Pat?
Sure. I, again, assembled the calls and messages and whatnot from the citizens from the last, since the last meeting. On Friday, 5/25, a citizen reached out with concerns on drainage at a church parking lot. We've discussed this. I've talked to Doug. On Monday, 5/27, I replied back to a Facebook post that wanted the city to move the farmers market from next to Hardee's to Peace Plaza. I had to inform the people that the city didn't control the farmers market and the city didn't own Peace Plaza, so we would have no voice in the matter. On Thursday, 5/30, sent a note to the city manager about some First Amendment auditors going around the state to expose and somewhat make fools out of people at the police departments, city halls, sheriff's departments, etc. Ron advised me he would meet with the people mentioned and do a quick review. I will say they made the police departments in Webster City and Fort Dodge look pretty bad. On Friday morning, 12:38 a.m., I replied back to a citizen who demanded that their personal tree trimmers are added to the list of tree trimmers who submit bids to the city for tree removal. I said they should call City Hall to make sure they're on the list. The citizen told me that this company trims trees for Tiger Woods. On Friday, May 31st, met briefly with the chamber director about a game plan for benches at City Park. He said that he and Jim have met and had some good ideas. Jim Davies. Friday afternoon, 5:31, spoke with Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Alex Prusman regarding Webster City's recent run-in with the First Amendment auditors. He said that the county wasn't involved, but it was a learning chance to retrain and relearn the procedures on to follow. Deputy Prusman also praised the Hampton Police Department for our Citizens Academy and hopes that they can get theirs back up and running. They held theirs for 5 years until the pool of citizens who wanted information dried up. Tuesday morning, 6/4, I got a call from a person upset about the drainage in their church parking lot. I did drive over, I did talk to Doug, and it looks to me like it's their responsibility, but the city will watch it from time to time. On Tuesday, 6/4, I received photos of bushes that have overgrown into an alley, and people are complaining about the bushes scratching their vehicles. I forwarded those photos to Doug Tarr. On Thursday, 6/6, downtown business complained about kids riding electric scooters on the sidewalk. I reached out to Chief Morrison. On Monday, we had our workshop. On Tuesday, 6/11, I worked with the librarian on recovery emails. At Tuesday on the town, several people reached out to me and complimented the city on the aggressive tree removal projects that we've had. On Wednesday, 6/12, met with Steve Hewling regarding the functionality and usage of the pickleball nets in the court. He said that the nets have fallen over a couple times due to the high winds, and he is personally going to pay for some rubber lawnmower tires that would fit on the top of the net poles so they don't damage the court if they fall over. He's absolutely thrilled with the city's participation in the project. On Wednesday, met with the city street department with Doug Berry and the street department guys and got a nice tour. We asked questions based on needs for the city, and a new tractor and street sweeper floated to the top of the discussion. While the street sweeper is a time-intensive piece of equipment to run after heavy rain, it does take the guys most of the day to go out and clean up the intakes because of the debris that gets caught in them. The guys at the street department have a lot of pride in our community. And then tonight we have our council meeting. That was the rundown of what people reached out to me for over the past 2 weeks. I appreciate them doing that.
Thank you, Pat. Jerry?
Well, for those who like to keep count, this is my 11th report out of 11 council meetings. And since our last workshop in May, I attended the library board meeting, and I learned that a citizen has opened a Freedom of Information Act with the library, which has caused the library to recapture a little over 8,000 emails. Our head librarian and attorney must now go through all of them before they're released. And I'm just curious how much of a hit the library budget is taking due to this Freedom of Information Act. And what the citizen expects from this. What are they seeking and what is their expected outcome from all this? I attended a chamber board meeting, a chamber promotion committee meeting, a chamber ambassador meeting, and for those that are unaware, I am the city council representative on the chamber board. I submitted this month's Image of Pride Award and met with the recipients for pictures and a brief interview. I attended a ribbon cutting and Business After 5 event at Lathy Grove as a representative of the city council at a chamber event. I took my first 2 turns out watering the downtown flower baskets and provided Mark with much amusement. I attended the Senior Citizen Ice Cream Social, toured Hampton's wastewater treatment facility and streets department, attended a planning and zoning meeting, attended and presented at the Chamber of Commerce quarterly coffee. I was contacted by a citizen in my ward regarding concern about the possibility of repairing the stoplights at the 4-way stop at Highway 3 and First Street Northwest. To research, I reached out to Doug Tarr and Mark Morrison to learn about the history of the stoplights, the cost of replacing them, and accident stats, and I shared my findings with that concerned citizen. I was contacted by a citizen in my ward regarding a possible neglected dog. I followed up by reviewing the animal tether law of Iowa, reached out to the Humane Society, and then also reached out to Kevin Blanford, the ward councilman that the dog resides in. I also reached out to Mark Morrison as well. And I had asked Doug Tarr to put a camera up at Memorial Park to give us an idea how much the park is utilized and if new playground equipment would be a justifiable investment. Every green space in town is important, yes, and I appreciate the city's work that they have done to keep that park looking good. Over the course of 19 days that the camera was up, the average of 1.1 person utilized that park every day. The playground equipment was utilized 5 times in that 19 days. And again, I believe the city does a great job maintaining our approximate 100 acres of park and cemetery, and they do it within budget. The 2 pieces of equipment that were vandalized in Memorial Park are being repaired. New seats have been ordered for the little sand diggers. I was also contacted by a citizen regarding generator noise from a local food truck. And I encourage that citizen to attend the council meeting tonight for public comment because we are working on that noise ordinance and their input would be greatly appreciated, but I'm sad they did not come. But the food truck they're referring to is the one across from Roxy's that was using electricity and now it's back to generator. And it runs every night and it runs a long time and it makes a lot of noise. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Bill?
Well, I want to thank Doug and his crew for having me come down to the maintenance shed. I'll tell you, as far as I was concerned, it was terribly hot. I think people need to remember I called down there however many years I've been on the city council working for Napa, so I pretty well knew the area, knew the equipment and stuff like that, but I did want to thank them. What really impressed me, there's something different down there with the attitude of the people themselves. It was just a totally different type of atmosphere, and it was good. And I appreciate it. Doug, thank you. I don't know where the hell you guys come up with all this stuff. I guess I need to get out of the saloon more often and find out what's going on. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Bill. I'm just going to give Barry one more chance if he's unmuted, or Becky, can you tell? Maybe. Okay. Well, we'll move on. I have a report to give also. I attended the Tourism Board meeting prior to this meeting today. This last week, I worked on I have the July Image of Pride, and so I worked on that, contacted those people, and turned in that information to City Hall. I continue to write the Code Council articles weekly for the Hampton Chronicle. I attended the Preserve Iowa Summit on June 6th down in Mount Pleasant and presented the Preservation at its Best Awards. And interesting note, in Mount Pleasant, they have quite a few four-way stops, and most of them were just flashing. There was like maybe one that was actually working as it would, but all the others were flashing. I just thought that was interesting. I wrote a letter of support for the Chamber's T-Mobile Hometown Grant, and that's for new bandshell benches. I received a donation in the mail for the Friends of the Hampton Cemetery, and I gave that donation to Mardale Sidmore Van Cleet, and that the person that made that donation would be interested in contributing to like a columbarium if we were to proceed with constructing one. I too toured the wastewater treatment plant last week and the street department this week. Very impressive. Again, I would echo what everyone else has said. It's just we have a great staff. And there's a chamber design meeting I'll be attending on Monday, June 24th. And lastly, been playing some tennis in the tennis courts, and they are cracking pretty badly. And I have already talked about that and with Doug and the city staff too. So, but that's all I have. And I guess that leaves us to the last item on the agenda, which is to adjourn. Thank you.
Well, just the board. Just the members of the board.
I mean, I joined it in December.
Yeah.